Check, check. Check, 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 check. Sorry, guys. This is a test. I'm sorry, guys. We started the State Cup. They're playing right now. I was going down to the wire. I'm going to get you updated on all the games. I am the coach, Brian Wilson, representing the Michigan Chess Association. This is the State Cup, and we are playing in the playoffs against the New Jersey team. This is the Michigan Monsters. Doing a sound test. I got a late start today. Sorry, guys. We're going to get the most important rounds. Sorry, guys. We are. All right. Want to make sure that we get this out to the correct people here. Make sure that I share. Right now, what's going on here? Squat to Death defeated Chess Moose here. We have a game between This Is Not Me. As you can see right now, This Is Not Me has a advantage over National Master Energetic Hey 05. Has a piece advantage here. You got to watch out there. There is checkmate if queen takes g4. But he could have played. No, maybe not. He only has a little bit of time left. Making sure that I share. There we go. And feel free to chat. Hello everyone in the chat here. As I said before, I am the coach Brian Wilson bringing you this live stream. We have This Is Not Me. Looks winning against Energetic Hey 05. We got one win already. That gives us 2 points. It's going down to the wire here. You can see their team from New Jersey there. I will say this: he has to watch out here. He's gonna want to block the check. What's happening here? Thought he would have blocked the check there. Is this a draw? Wow, that was a draw, guys. I don't know if could he have blocked the check there? That is a disappointing result for us there. That is a draw. I believe that with more time, Mr. Nichols, This Is Not Me, is his username. What's up, Adam? What's going on, Adam? Make sure that I have start. Sorry for the late start, guys. All right, we got a draw 1.5 so far. Checkmate right here. This is Clara McGrew playing our third war. We are missing. Now, this is David Grass on a checkmate is up a pawn with a rook and bishop versus rook and bishop here. So definitely better for white. So we're looking good there. But checkmate only has a little bit of time left, but has the pass C pawn there. I will anticipate rook to d5. There you go. And she should be better in this position. Yeah, I would think the bishop will be going to d2. King b3. King a4. Don't want to pin yourself, do you? Okay, she's fine right now. And this is good for a checkmate here. So that is, no, Adam, another draw. Man, hopefully Clara can get this going here. She got to watch it there because there is a bunch of checks coming here. I don't like her technique. But, of course, she only has a little bit of time left here. Yep, rook to d3. She's trying her best. Pushes the pawn there. That looks good. Definitely should take that and then start pushing the pass pawn. So Clara looks good here. Science Square, Devin, Caminares. It's over. What? Oh, I'm sorry. Mackenzie Molnar wins that game. That's Grandmaster Mackenzie Molnar from New Jersey. Yes, that's right. They get the point there. So right now it's 1.5 to 1.5. It all depends on Clara and this game here. And now this is going to be, what is it? Is it called the Vincura position that she's going to look for? Otherwise, this will be a draw, and we would draw the round. Tony Nichols had a win there. That's going to be very tough for us. Got to cut that king off there. Rook h4. He just doesn't want to lose on time here trying to win. It's okay to live and fight another day. All right, cut the king off. There you go. She's getting better with this here. I don't know about that move. Okay. Now she's going to be able to force the king back again. She's showing pretty decent technique. Going to have to dance over to that side again, but she has to move. There you go. There she goes here. Good. Now that's not going to get her anywhere there. Now she could go check here. Her plan is to go check on e3. Okay, so she pulls the king back again. Keeping the king on that rank there. That's what her plan should be. She crosses the bridge there. All right. David Grasso he's running behind in time here. Okay, now she has the king cut off. She has to move, though. She cannot lose on time. Come on, move, Clara. She cannot lose on time. You have to move, Clara. One thing you do not want is a loss. You don't want a loss here. I would think maximum distance will be the best with the rook. Yes, there you go. Now she can push she pushes it back. She's getting to that position that she wants here. Go ahead, move the bishop. There you go. Push him back again. There she had it. She could have pushed the king back again. She missed it there. All right. She has to move now. She can't do too much thinking. Now she can push it back now. Push it. There you go. Here we go. She has the king cut off here. What technique by Clara McGrew? What technique? Let's go. What technique by Clara McGrew? Yes. Yes. Then again, Adam, tell me if you can hear me correctly. Make sure there's no echo. I don't think there was an echo. But what a game by Clara McGrew. That is a hard position to win there. And Clara had the correct technique. Man, what a big victory there for Clara. Excellent job. So that gives us that gives us 2, I believe. So we had 2 draws and 2 wins, right? So that gives us, I'm sorry, we had 2 wins and a draw. So that's 2.5 to 1.5, right? Yeah, 2.5 to 1.5 in that round. What? That was excellent, Clara. Then again, make sure you guys, we're brought to you by the Michigan Chess Association. Make sure you guys check out the michess.org website for all your upcoming tournaments and events. During the pandemic, there is quarantine tournaments online, and there are even some over-the-board adventurous tournaments going on now. You get all your information with Michigan Chess Association. Shout out to our captain and team president, Jeff Aldrich, who brings you this state team today. Now, we got to talk about who is missing here. Now, if you notice, we have FIDE Master Mark Hyman. Second board is not James Canty. He's out injured. By the way, happy birthday to James Canty's son there. I don't know if it's James Canty the fourth or if it's his other son, because I know he has another baby as well. We want to wish the kid a happy birthday and many, many more for that youngster there. It's probably going to be a terror with his father teaching him chess in the future. That's why we do not have James Canty, who is 18, 3 draws and 2 losses total for the whole regular season. And then we miss him during the playoffs, but we have a balanced lineup for you. So in second, this is not me, who has a wonderful record over the State Cup. But then we have Claire McGrew and then Devin Camaneras. Claire McGrew doesn't have the best record, but now I see why Jeff Aldrich made this roster change and had it and chose Claire McGrew over Advaita Rajanic. Could be a controversial roster move, but Claire McGrew shows you right then why she deserves to be in the playoffs with her clutch play, because she has been in this position many, many times, because she is the former women's state champion here in Michigan, and she knows how to come up in the clutch. Now, so we're getting started for the next round. I got to make sure the score is adjusted here. You got to make sure the score is adjusted. All right. Because we are currently up 2.5 to 1.5. I'll adjust that for you guys. The new game have started, which you can see on the screen. That is I don't know if they have the actual names there, but I will adjust that. Give me 1 second. But Michigan Monsters up 2.5, and New Jersey, they have 1.5 in the round. Sorry, guys. The game you are seeing, I believe, is the game with Claire McGrew. And hopefully you can see that name. I actually have to. Okay, this should be fine here. Okay. What's going on, everybody that's in the chat? We got a late start. I see there is 3 people in the chat right now. Hopefully, we'll have more joining later to support this nice playoff team that we have. We have Player Group's Grandmaster Mackenzie Muller right now on the screen. And not much breaks in between rounds. Not many breaks in between rounds. All your information on chess, check the Michigan Chess Association Facebook page, keep you updated. Also, michess.org, plus all social media. There's a Michigan Chess Association Facebook page as well. You can go there. You can go to the YouTube channel. This is where you are now. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share the video. And so right now we are down a player, James Canty, National Master James Canty. Username is GM Canty. And hey, hopefully he'll be with us in the next round. But right now, that's why we have a good team full of reserves, which we do, as Claire McGrew just showed you guys right there, winning a rook and bishop versus a rook king and bishop versus king and bishop in game. I'm sorry, rook king and bishop versus king and rook in game. Man, that was an excellent technique by Claire McGrew there. And that gave us a 1-point victory in the first round. This is reminiscent of our last matchup with these guys, even though their roster is a little bit different. Okay. So Mackenzie Molnar versus Claire McGrew right now. You see there is a stone wall structure here that Clara has. You notice that she has this bad bishop on c8. I wonder if her plan is to go bishop d7, bishop e8, and bishop h5. Or probably a better plan is to simply play something like b4 and bring the bishop out to a6. But the material here is even here. And I know Mackenzie wants to probably open up this G file. Oh, there was an en passant move there. This looked like this started as a French structure here. And so Clara has her work cut out. White is definitely better. You notice that the pawn majority on the king side is going to become pretty quickly, especially with this bishop that's unopposed on d3 because of the weakness of the bishop on c8. And so Claire is going to have to really, really watch out for this. Right now, she's putting pressure on that f4 pawn right now. And so I believe that it's not, I believe her position is okay, but she has to be careful here because it could turn bad pretty quickly. Time is about even. Let's go science square. We missed him the last round where he did play the Grandmaster Mackenzie Molnar the last round. And I'm going to get his board updated here. There we go. And he's playing Dave Grasso from the New Jersey team. And you can see the ratings on our stream there for the New Jersey team. And I believe Dave Grasso is their the second board, I believe. Science Squares right now has almost a 2-minute advantage here. And he's working with the double pawns in the bishop pair. So that's the big imbalance here. The double pawns in the bishop pair. So when you see an imbalance like this, especially first of all with the bishop pair, you would like you open the position to use those bishops. But a lot of times, if you just keep the bishops, as the game goes on, those bishops tend to get stronger and stronger and stronger eventually. And so those are pieces that you would like to keep. Now, right now, the black king is stuck in the center, so white depends on the leading development to be to make up for the bishop pair there. And also you see these double pawns here. And a lot of kids, and not only kids, but a lot of players actually think double pawns are bad. That's not actually true. It all depends on what position those double pawns are in. The positives is that it gives you an open file because, as you see, Science Squares just captured a pawn on an open file where the rook was, and it also gives you more square control. The pawn on c6 controls b5 and d5. Picture knight going into d5. If it wasn't for that pawn, that would be possible. And then there's a pawn on c7 as well that controls b6 and d6. So that is the breakdown of imbalances for those who are watching here. And shout out to everybody in the chat. What's going on? Adam is always in the chat supporting the Michigan Monsters here. We're playing in the playoffs right now against New Jersey. Let me tell you the backstory about our team versus New Jersey. We had a draw with New Jersey in the first week. 8-8 was the end. They came back. We were going into the last round of matches. We were up a point, but they were able to beat us a point in the last round of matches with a critical game, Mark Hyman versus Mackenzie Moner, where Mark Hyman definitely was winning that game, but blundered towards the end in time pressure, and Mackenzie Moner was able to win that game, which gave his team a tie. Also, right before the round of Mackenzie Moner versus Mark Hyman, there was Mackenzie Moner versus national master James Canty, and that was a terrific victory for James Canty. Probably his first Grandmaster scalp in rated tournament play, I believe, unless he might have had one in a blitz tournament, but that was a very big win in that third round of matches for us against New Jersey. So we meet again. And so this is going to be very big. Look at David Grasso and Science Squares. Science Squares is putting a little squeeze on David Grasso right now, threatening to go knight takes e3. He wants to eliminate the knight's bishop on e3 here. And David Grasso is trying to figure out what he should do. You see, you have a rook that's on b2. There's a hanging pawn on c2, which I don't believe you can actually take that. But that's always in the back of White's mind, that hanging pawn that's there. So gotta watch it. All right, so let's go to our second board player here. And this is not me, which is Tony Nichols. We're gonna update his game here. Now, he had a game where he was winning in this game, but his opponent found a drawing line in that game. And that was, that's a point we would like to have had back here. Right now, this is me. Of course, Tony Nichols plays Stonewall formations very well. He's very versed in that formation. No matter how much you prepare for someone like that, if they know the structure better than the other, then they're good. Adam says Clara has a problematic pawn structure. Let's take a look at that, Adam. And then we'll get to our number one player, Mark Hyman. Yes, this is a French pawn structure. You see there is a backwards e6 pawn. And it's no longer protected by the bishop. A lot of times in a French structure, you'll see this bishop on d7. And people like Varouzen Akopian, Victor Krochnoi, they believe that bishop on d7 is actually not a bad piece because it supports the backwards pawn that supports the space advantage on d5. And that d5 pawn controls a lot of squares. So they believe, and of course, those are French players. They have a different outlook on life when it comes to chess, but they believe the bishop on d7 isn't a bad piece. Consider that it supports the brick wall on e6 and d5, which means the bishop on f1 is not the best piece. But it looks like this bishop on f1 is coming back to h3 to put maximum pressure on the e6 pawn. Clara decides to pin the knight here on c3. I wonder if her plan is to go knight to d8. Could be. Maybe her plan is to go knight to d8 and causing her own pawn structure weaknesses there. Even though I'm not so sure knight to d8 is the best move, that's just pretty much trying to hold your position up and defend. So yeah, Adam, I believe Claire does have some structural problems because the bishop on b7 just doesn't look like it's doing much. But hoping for a d4 push later. But at this moment, and you know what? Yeah, at this moment, yeah, she is struggling here against Grandmaster Mackenzie Molnar, but hopefully she could fix her problems here. She has enough time. All right, let's get to our number one board here. Mark Hyman, who has a record. What is his record? I believe it was 22. He had 2 draws and 3 losses or something like that. So he has a terrific record. But that's what we want our first board to do. He has played 2 titled players. Well, I would say international master Thomas Bartel, where he draw that. He might have lost the game to Grandmaster Mackenzie Molnar, and maybe he lost to Thomas Bartel as well. Maybe that was his only 2 losses of the whole tournament. But other than that, he has been spectacular. And is a big consideration for MVP for the Michigan Monsters. And right now he's playing Energetic Hay of the New Jersey team. And this is their third board. Okay, their third board is Jason Liu. 2181 is his rating. Of course, Mark Hyman's rating is 2485. So there's a big rating discrepancy here. But if you look at the board here, it is not so bad for Black, and this is a point that we need as the Michigan Monsters. We need Mark to score that 3 before he gets to play his counterpart, Mackenzie Molnar, the Grandmaster, in a rematch of that game. So we need him to score this point. And if I look at this position here, I would say Black is in a better position because look at the nice knight that's on f5, but also look at the islands. There is a 1, 2, 3 pawn islands. And what an island is anytime you have a group of pawns together. So there's 4 in a row here, makes 1 island. There's another pawn here, that's a second island, another pawn. So that is 3 islands compared to Black's 2. So in this endgame of pawn structure, Black is better here. Now it looks like Energetic Hay is looking to reroute his knight to try to kick that knight out of there and go to a pure king and rook in game with these pawn structure weaknesses. He would like to put his king on f5, I guess. And right now he's just looking for a break, some type of break here. Maybe he wants to go knight to c8 and b6. Maybe that's a break he would like to get, but then again, his pawn structure wouldn't be the greatest there. So maybe that's what he is looking for. But Energetic Hay is down 3 minutes to Mark Hyman, so that's to our advantage. Let's go back to David Grasso in Science Squares. This is Devin Camaneris, originally from New York. Moved here and joined the Michigan Monsters. And I know he's happy because New York, we defeated New York 12-4 by using the secret weapon Devin Camaneris against them, since he's a former New Yorker. Actually, he didn't have that great of a day that day. And some people accuse him of being a ringer, but he came through in the last round with a crucial victory for us, and we were able to win that match. I think it was 11-5 there. 11-5 was the match score against the New York team. And right now he has more than a minute up in time. He's trying to work these bishops for sure. Okay, he has this bishop on f6 holding things together. And you notice that white is doing what white is supposed to do, attack the isolated pawns there. And now the c6 pawn is what Devin is trying to hold up. And he's thinking whether he should play something like bishop to a6 or bishop to b7. I don't believe the tactics on bishop a6 even work, by the way. But there's something to say for a c5. I don't think there's a problem with c5. And you have this nice move, rook to, I'm not sure if that worked, but rook to b4. Take, you hitting the rook and the, so he does play c5. Maybe rook b4 is too ambitious. Don't need to do that. But he's definitely going to be bringing his bishop to b7 or bishop to a6. Bishop a6 is probably better. So I definitely like Devin's position here. In this game here, he has the bishop pair versus these knights. Now I will say right now the pawn structure is not conducive to the bishops. Looking at the bishop on f6, the knights, they would normally be better in this position. It's just how would you get them to d5? What squares? How could you get them to f5? And so that's the big problem with the knights right now. I think maybe move like bishop to a6 could be played. Or bishop to b7. And that should complete a lot of development here. Bishop to a6. Maybe. Bishop a6. Because if queen d5, you have c6. So I believe this is really good for Science Squares, which is Devin Camaneris. All right, let's go to This Is Not Me. This is Mr. Tony Nichols. Whoa. He wins. Wow, he wins this game. And it's really nice to get a win early. And he wins this game against Chess Moose, who is from New Jersey, and started with this knight d5 move. And of course, if you take that knight, you're going to have this opposite color bishop game where I believe black has enough to hold the position if he just trades the bishop there for the knight. But instead, he chooses to go queen to c6. And then, oh man, and then Tony Nichols plays rook takes. What a tactic there. Rook takes f6, threatening knight e7 here. What can you do? That's just a free piece. And he actually takes that. And then there's the fork and game is over. So we got 1 point there. And guys, I forgot from our wins the last time. We need to bring our house. So we already have 1 win for the Michigan Monsters. Going into 1 win in the second round. This is the second round here. We're facing the New Jersey State chess team, and this is the playoffs. All right, Adam. I'm sorry, man. You got Adam. I see you're focused on the Clara game here. Let's turn the game on. Adam, you have some analysis on this Clara game with Grandmaster Mackenzie Molnar. What happened there? What's happening here? I see Claire is down a exchange, but this bishop doesn't look so comfortable, by the way. I mean, the rook on h8 doesn't look so comfortable. Mackenzie Molnar has 6 minutes here. I do think white, I mean, you look at this position, white is definitely better here, I believe. But there is the bishop pair. But right now, like I said, the bishop on b7 isn't that great. There's a threat of this knight to d4 move. That could be something. Because if you take, then the pawn lands on e5, I'm sorry, and then e6. will be the move. All right, so you said move 20. I don't have a move counter right now. If I go back, yeah, there's no move counter for some reason here. There's no move counter. So let me know what move that was. But I see there was a sacrifice here. Okay, I see. Okay. Oh, and then here we see that Mackenzie Mulder did play knight to e5. This is the move that I was looking at. That's pretty tough here. I don't know what Claire would do with this move here, because there's a threat of knight to d7. If you go king to g7, there the rook can come out to e8 maybe. So he's just trying to save the rook somehow. And Clara resigns there. That was a quick resignation. I don't know if that was warranted to resign that quickly. But we lose that game, Claire versus Grandmaster Mackenzie Mulder. So that is tied up. Let's go to Mark Hyman here. Ah, right, Adam. I see knight takes d5 there. That was a key move there, yeah. Mark Hyman is struggling right here in this position. Like I said, the position was better for Black because he just had more pawn islands. So this is going to be a struggle. But right now, Mark is looking to post a knight. Post a knight on e5. There is a rook takes b3 move. What would happen here after rook takes b3? I don't understand why he can't play rook takes b3, but Energetic Hay only has 1 minute left. So that's going to be a big one there. Right now, we're tied 1-1. David Grasso versus Science Squares. Their game is still going on. It is the battle of the bishop here. Look at the rook battery here on the a3 pawn. That's going to be a big factor in this game. I see, yeah, Adam, knight takes d5, king g7 attacking the rook. That I was looking at that too. That could have been a better move for her. I like Devin Caminera's position here with these bishops. I think that if we could attach ourselves to any imbalance that the Michigan Monsters have been using, is the use of the bishops. I can point to so many key crucial games where the Michigan Monsters have used their bishops to their advantage. And this is another one. Mark Hyman has used the bishops really well, and definitely James Canty has used the bishops in previous games. Guys, this is the playoffs. If we win this, we move on to the next round. And this is our divisional playoffs. After we win our division in the playoffs, which I believe anyone that wins the division, we should have a automatic playoff with the other division winners. But okay, not my rules. So we'll take it here. Devin is looking to trade off some pieces here. Right now, we're 1-1. We're up 1 point in this match so far. It would be lovely to get a point here. I like our positions here. So Squat to Death is up a lot of time. Now, this is 15 minutes with 2-second increment. Right now, Squat to Death is actually down a pawn. And Black has a more active king here. But he has to watch it here because the plan is to go, there you go. The plan was to go rook to f3 and then rook to f4, f6 check, and the e6 pawn and maybe the a6 pawn. But here we see probably the plan here is to, okay, so Mark does not allow a draw position. Doesn't allow the draw position here. The threat still remains. Okay, that was a pretty decent move. e4. And there, okay, so now a pawn falls. So Mark right now is taking a pawn. Pawns are even here. Now you can actually go rook takes e5 because the answer if king takes e5, knight to f, knight to d7, check, forks the rook and the king. That should work. But you do have to watch the d3 pawn. So maybe you don't want to do that quite yet. Sacrifice probably would backfire, so you got to watch out. That's what he's calculating now. See, that's the thing. Mark has, I know, rook takes e5, but the problem, Adam, is the king gets to creep in on this square, and you got to watch the d3 pawn. So yes, it looks like it could work, but you have to watch the d3 pawn after all of these trades. Now there, I don't know what happened there, but it worked out for us. So now Mark has a pawn advantage. There is a pass c pawn here. Mark is probably going to try to work the king over here and get it to g3. Okay, that's a nice tactic there. That way he wins the d4 pawn. And now all he wants to do is control. Maybe he wants to go king to c5 or to c3. That way the pawn, the knight on f1 would not be a threat, or f3 would not be a threat here. So Mark Hyman should be winning this game. Let's go back to Science Squares here. And right now you see Science Squares is up by time and he is up by material. This is a rook versus a knight imbalance here, and that's it. He's gonna have to, wow, he's gonna have to trade here by playing f4, and he resigns. So we get a point there. He resigns. So wait a minute, we might wind up having 3 points in this round. And that is going to be big. Look at the technique Mark Hyman is showing here. 1 minute and 18 seconds. He's making sure everything is crisp and clean before he just moves. He has a big time advantage. And he should just snap that off here. Probably, maybe he could have pushed. He could have pushed there. So like push right now would be a good move. He does. So h3, that wins a pawn. Oh, wow, you got to watch it here. You do not want to draw. That's a good job. So now he can push this pawn here, and that should be it. The pass pawn should win. So we have a point for squat to depth, a point for this is not me. We lose against the Grandmaster here, but another point here. So we get 3-1 here. Yes. 3-1. All right. And as I just saw, we're going into the third round. And let's pull out our Howl 3-1. That gives us a 3-point lead going into the third round. All right. And actually, that was only 2. We need another one. Let's get a screen for that third win. That's right. We are the Michigan Monsters here. And as I put the score in, just to let everybody know, this video, if you like it, make sure you like it. Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel and make sure you share this with your friends, whether you're watching us live or you watching us on the recording, because this will be posted on the Michigan Chess Association YouTube channel and also the Michigan Chess Association page at michess.org. Shout out to our captain Jeff Aldridge for putting this together with the State Cup. Jeff Aldridge is also our Michigan Chess Association president. Right now we have 5.5. That was such a big round against New Jersey. Anytime you could pick up 2 points, that's really big. So it's 5.5 to 3.5. We want a big cushion, as big as we can get before we get to the last round. So that's 5.5 to 2.5. Now, if we get 3 points in this round, that's it, folks. We win. 2.5 guarantees us a draw. 3 points, we win. So as I update this, I'm going to get to these games here. They are already playing right now. And let's get to it. Shout out to everybody who's joining us here in Michigan Association YouTube page. I am the coach, Brian Wilson, and I am your streamer for the Michigan State Cup today. Right now, the Michigan Monsters are up 5.5 to 2.5. We have a 3-point advantage. This is the third round of games. We have one more round of games after this one concludes. What you're watching here is Clara McGrew against Chess Moose from New Jersey. You see their online ratings are pretty close, even though Clara has a little bit of an advantage. And I'm looking at a position where White looks like maybe White wants to castle to the queen side. This looks like a Sicilian here. Or maybe it did start with d4. It's weird. So no, this was a bishop d3 French that actually now looks like it could have been a English attack from the Sicilian with the double pawns, the bishop on e3. All you can do is pit here is queen to d2 and queenside castle. The only difference is there is no d6 pawn and no e pawn. So I think Clara did well in this opening here. White is going to look to use the open G file here. And Clara has to make a decision of where she's going to castle. Will she castle to the queen side, or is she going to try to keep her king in the center right now? So that is the beginnings there. Now we have Science Squares versus Energetic Hay. Science Squares is Devin Camaneras, formerly of New York, now representing the Michigan Monsters. You see this position here. There is White with the bishop pair. Material is uneven. The Black has an extra pawn here at the price of a little bit of development. And you see White is threatening to ruin the pawn structure there. White has the bishop pair and has a the bigger development advantage. You have a development advantage here. You want to be aggressive when you have a development advantage. You like to open the position up as much as you can, cause chaos, because you have more pieces out than your opponent. And also, Devin's king is in the center, so Devin's going to have to think carefully in this game to take advantage or take away this development advantage that White has here. Maybe he moves like bishop to e6. You can play with d1 and get your development going. Still within here. Even don't know. Move like queen to c5 comes to mind as well. But I think Devin is okay here. Let's go to Tony Nichols, who had a pretty big victory in his last match here. We're gonna have to see here. Yeah, we're gonna have to update his board first. And he's playing Grandmaster Mackenzie Moner. Today, Tony Nichols is filling in for National Master James Canty, whose son's birthday is today. We're gonna wish James Canty's son happy birthday. I do not know if it's a new one or he has 2 children and is a wonderful father. So we want to wish your son, a happy birthday. What is his name? If James, if you're watching, please tell us his name. I want to make sure I know who I'm going to put GM in front of. I gotta know the kid's name, so I could tell everyone that I knew him at one point. Thanks everybody for joining us here in the chat. What's up, Adam? Definitely been active in supporting the Michigan Monsters. This is not me, it's Tony Nichols versus the Grandmaster Mackenzie Moner. And I kind of want to go through Mackenzie Moner's record in the State Cup. I know we had one victory versus him with James Canty. And you look at this position, I don't think Tony is looking that bad. Right now, he has this knight that's offside. He's looking to bring this knight back to the center, probably via c4 and knight e5. That's actually what I would do. I would play something like queen e2. And then if f5, I would definitely play something like knight to c4, whether I'm going to d2. But he actually plays f5 here. And that's actually a really good move too. So he prevents black from playing f5 by playing f5 himself. And I like this move here. So now once he plays queen f3 or queen e2, the knight will be free because it won't have the f5 option. Let's go to Mark Hyman as game updates. You see that we're 3 points up on New Jersey. When we played them in our first game of the regular season, we tied New Jersey 8 games to 8 games. And I actually want to say that we lost 3-1 going into the last round. I'm not sure. I think it was something like that. As you see Mark Hyman here, he is now... Black is taking advantage of the development of Mark right here by playing d4. This is I think this is a really excellent try from Black by playing d4 here, and Mark takes him up on his offer. And I guess after bishop takes e2, knight takes e2, Mark is going to get hit with rook d8, and he has to decide where he's going to put this queen. And that's a big decision. I wonder if he can actually even go knight takes d4, allow the trade of the bishop, and then go knight to b3. Can't do that. So that's a no-no. So knight takes d4. If e takes d4, then there's bishop takes e2. And that doesn't look good either. Queen takes rook e8 coming. King takes looks not good at all. If knight takes, queen takes, that's a possibility. But then you do have queen takes, pawn takes, and then bishop takes right there. It's an end game. Mark has an extra pawn, but I don't know if that extra pawn is going to be that great. So after maybe knight takes, queen takes is the idea by Mark Hyman, double attacking the g4 pawn. So he did go knight takes d4. I believe he should have thought about that a little bit longer. I really do. Because now you're giving Mark Hyman an extra pawn in the endgame. Oh, now this is a nice move to try to keep the pressure on. But it's not going to be enough with f3. Probably going to have to go bishop to e6 here. I don't believe there will be enough pressure on this e2 knight. I know he's going to try to play bishop f5, and then you're going to see a move like, I don't know, king to d2. Or maybe even king to f2. So David Grasso tried to use his development lead here. But now you get into an endgame where it's going to be an active white king with an extra pawn in the center. And Mark Hyman has, like we've seen the last round, he outplayed his opponent in an endgame that probably was not to his advantage. And so an endgame where he's simply up a pawn, even though the pawn is isolated, it's still a pass pawn, can be supported really well by the rooks. I think Mark Hyman is in a better position here, much better. Active king. This is good for Mark. All right, let's go back to Energetic Haze versus Science Squares. Whoa, what's going on here? So Science Squares, this is a tactical game. And right now, Science Squares is up one pawn. And he's definitely using the light squares around the king. His last move was knight to h3. He is down a little bit of time, but that time is going to come right back in a position like this. And also, it looks like maybe now if I castle, if so, he doesn't allow him to castle, even though queen takes a7 probably prevented the castling in the first place. Oh no, actually no, you couldn't do that. So yes, after castle, queen takes a7, loses to the fantastic bishop to f3 check, where you're gonna have to. So this is very interesting here. Devin is really lighting the squares up here. Now he's threatening bishop to f3 check. Really nice position for Devin Camaneris. So in that game, we're looking pretty good. Let's check on Clara. And Clara has been playing fantastic. She did lose her game to the Grandmaster Mackenzie Moner. There is another rook in Clara's position that is getting smothered. Look like she's saying, I'm not going to let this rook out this time. The rook is surrounded here. And at this moment, Clara is trying to take that rook. He's down a pawn right now, but this doesn't look like a rook you would like to have. So what is the play here? Maybe queen to c7 is the play. Queen to c7, protecting the e5 pawn. Also, you're pinning the knight because of the queen and bishop's battery on the c2 pawn. I know, Adam, I think Clara might be trapping that rook. But if anything, it is worth a lot of time. Now, right now, Clara is down 2 minutes. But I believe White is going to have his work cut out for him to figure out how to rescue this rook here. So Clara, I believe, is in a winning position here. I think this is winning for Clara, as long as she shows good technique. This Is Not Me is Tony Nichols playing the Grandmaster Mackenzie Moner. And this is a Grandmaster type of position here. The position looks manageable for Nichols. I would say, but I just noticed Nichols is down a pawn. So Mackenzie is up a pawn here. He's looking to create a isolated target on d4 as well. The bishop on b2 is not great. Knight is on a3. Yes, this is how you get outplayed by a Grandmaster here, and it looks like it's showing big time here. And Mackenzie Moner is also up 3 minutes, almost 3 minutes in time. So that game, it looks like black is definitely winning in this game. Mark Hyman here against David Grasso. And as we've seen, Grasso tried to open up the position, but there were too many trades after he tried to open it up. There is a passed d5 pawn here, and plus Mark has a better king closer to the center of the board, and I believe this is just a really good position for Mark Hyman here. Definitely better in this position. David Grasso is going to be suffering in this game here. Adam, you're talking about your game. Adam says 16 rook take d1, bishop takes f6, knight to d5. Is that Clara's game you're talking about? Let's check a look. Rook d1, and you wanted to do... Oh, I didn't get what you wanted there. What game is that you're talking about? 16 rook d1, bishop takes f6. That must be Clara's game there. But when are you talking about rook d1, knight d5 here? After queen c7? Maybe? Maybe that's what you're meaning. But here, Chess Moves does... He just took the bishop, so now Clara is up a exchange here. There's a weak e5 pawn here. But there's a bishop that is attacked by the pawn on h6 right now as well. You have to fix that problem. Wow. That's interesting. Clara, why can't she just take this? I do not see why she couldn't take this. That looks hanging there. That looks hanging. Oh, I see, Adam. Yeah, she played queen c8 instead. This looks like we're up a whole rook here, by the way. Now, that is the whole purpose was this move here. Okay, so I see that. Oh, okay, this makes a lot of sense. There is a checkmate here. Threaten. Wow. And there you go. Knight takes d5 is played. Whoa, but there's queen takes h8. Clara didn't think about that enough. Oh, that's very dangerous there. I think she should have thought about that a little bit more. Just a little bit more there. Maybe her plan is to play... I do not know. King f7, queen h7, and king f6. That works. Or does it? Yeah, it might work. Because if rook takes d5, you're going to have queen to e6 check. So that could work. So maybe that's what Clara calculated here. After queen h7, king f6, there's no more checks from the queen. You definitely don't want to trade here. Well, maybe she has to trade, but I don't think you want to in this position. Clara would be winning by a pawn. By a piece, sorry, not a pawn. So, man, this is a really good calculation by Clara to allow the rook to be captured. And I think white is in some trouble here. I do not see the checks do not do anything. Queen h7, king f6, no more checks. If rook takes d5, queen e6, attacks the king and the rook at the same time. There's nothing there. There is nothing there. Wow. So Clara should be winning that game. Let's go to Tony Nichols versus Grandmaster Mackenzie Molnar. Nothing has changed here. Mackenzie Molnar is milking his pawn. He did create that isolated target there on d4. This is going to be a problem. Look at the knight that's on the rim here. Can't get back in because the b5 and the c4 squares are covered. This is pretty bad here for Mr. Nicholls. But we're looking good on the other boards. Of course, we look at Mark Hyman's FIDE Master Mark Hyman's game. He's just simply up a pawn here. Same with Mackenzie Molnar. Also has almost a 2-minute advantage in the clock. With correct technique, he should be better here. David Grasso is going to suffer in this game. And Science Squares, this might be the most exciting game. This game, Science Squares is Devin Camaneris, who plays for us, the Michigan Monsters, and the Clara McGrew game. Clara McGrew, former women's state champion here in Michigan. When we look at this game, Science Squares, as he falls behind almost a minute here, he's trying to figure out how to use those light squares around the king. Maybe he wants to avoid. Now, I will say this. This rook that's on g8 isn't doing much. So maybe he's going to have to try to reroute this knight into the game. Probably better to do that. I think he can actually go rook takes here. I think he can go rook takes d there and allow that trade and then bring the bishop back to g4 and try to take advantage of this f3 square. Yeah, because after rook takes d2, there can't be queen takes d2 because there's a knight takes e4 fork there. So it has to be the other rook. And I know he wants to get active with the queen somehow. So Devin Camaneris, before he trades here, he plays bishop to g4 first before the trade. Now I believe white should actually trade here and bring the other rook to d2 maybe. Well, actually, can't do that right away because Devin will play bishop f3. So this is a battle here. And there's also a knight to h3 siding possible. So that could be possible too. And then maybe the